Agriculture feeds Cameroon. Agriculture employs millions of Cameroonians. Agriculture contributes significantly to exports, and it also supplies raw materials to industries. Yet, if you ask many young people which career path they want to follow, very few will say agriculture. So the question I ask myself is, why is a sector that feeds the nation and other nations and as valuable as agriculture still struggling to get recognition? This question does not really have a simple response or a simple answer, but there are certain things that need to change in order for agriculture to get the recognition that it deserves. And I think the first and one of the most important points is that on public perception. Many people view agriculture as something people do when there is no other thing to do, not just in Cameroon, many other countries. So um, that's why you see parents celebrate when their children become doctors, lawyers, bankers, and all that. These are very important fields as well to the economy of the country. But very few parents celebrate when their child decides to follow the path on being an agricultural entrepreneur or a professional farmer. This perception is one of the biggest obstacles. So what needs to change is that agriculture should be presented in a better way. Agriculture should be presented as business, as a science, as technology, as entrepreneurship, as innovation. It's a rising innovation. So people need to see examples of successful agricultural entrepreneurs. There are so many of them in Cameroon, there are so many of them in Africa and the world at large. So based on how agriculture is being presented, it will prompt young farmers or young agricultural graduates to properly run a greenhouse, a poultry operation, a fish farm, and other things like a seed company. These sectors in agriculture are very important, and they even generate more income than majority of the formal jobs that we have. But these stories are rarely highlighted. Another thing that I think needs to change is agriculture must be modernized. Many students are being taught theory in school. They master definitions, they master concepts, they master theories, but very few actually venture into the practicals. They never actually learn farm economics, cost benefit analysis, investment planning, market analysis, agri value chains, and many other practical areas in agriculture. So what needs to change is agricultural education should focus on practical enterprise projects, and also agricultural education should, in the aspect of modernization, should enhance digital agriculture, whereby students and local farmers, even other farmers as well, they make use of remote sensing, precision farming, and climate smart agriculture. So agriculture must become more profitable. Many farmers work hard, like very hard, but still remain poor. And based on my small observation, I've realized that it is mainly due to poor storage, lack of processing units, and little bargaining power. So we need to focus on investing in improving our storage facilities, even roads, even farm roads, even the processing plants or the processing units, because Cameroon loses a substantial amount of food every year. Every year, for example, in the aspect of grains like maize, if you harvest, based on research, if you harvest 100 bags of maize due to poor storage and poor post-harvest handling techniques, the farmer will lose 40 bags. So at the end of the day, if you have 100 bags, you end up having just 60 bags that can be used for business and maybe other things because of poor storage. So reducing these losses could improve a farmer's income without increasing production. So another thing is, this one is very important. Youths must see a future in agriculture. Many young people still view agriculture as cutlasses, hoes, and suffering. But they need that exposure to agricultural technology startups, to greenhouse farming, to hydroponics, to aquaculture, to agricultural consulting, to food processing, to supply chain management, and so many things. Most of these fields encompasses agriculture. There's one of my very good friends, Mr. Emil, who says agriculture is the oxygen of everything. And what he says is right, because there's no department and there's no economy in which you will not have agriculture being part of the core of that economy. So agriculture has dozens of careers. For example, and not just farming. For example, a graduate can become a supply chain manager, a farm manager, an extension worker, a seed specialist, an agronomist, so many of them. But many students never hear about these opportunities. And even those who have actually studied agriculture rarely venture into these opportunities or specialize into these fields. Agricultural research must reach farmers. Cameroon has very good, lucrative research centers. For example, we have institutions like IRAD, that's a Institute of Agricultural Research for Development, and it's in almost every region in the country. We have ITA, we have universities as well, and we have other specialized research centers, and we have ministries like Minade. They produce very good agricultural reports, very good, even manuals as well. But these things, they don't reach farmers, they don't reach farms. So agricultural research must reach farms. Why? It's going to improve on the production of these farmers. They can produce reports on the farm pricing of goods, on varieties of maize, improved cassava varieties, and improved poultry practices. So many manuals, so many reports, so many articles, but yet these rarely reach the farm. All of these only create impact when farmers have adopted them and are utilizing them in their farm. Agriculture needs better media coverage. If you look at television, if you look at social media, if you look at newspapers, you will realize that we rarely discuss agricultural topics on things like food systems, soil health, irrigation, climate smart agriculture, and so many of them. We rarely discuss those things. So we need more documentaries, we need more agricultural podcasts. For example, there's an interesting podcast that is being run now by the celebrity farmer Mr. J40 on I think it's on his social media and many other parts. We need more farm tours, we need more agricultural journalists, that things that promote agriculture. This matters because people respect and they get attracted to what they constantly see. If agriculture becomes visible, it becomes attractive.